been southbound, I've been hellbound, riding on the midnight train. Going too fast now, think I ought to slow down, standing in the pouring rain.
What's going on, guys? Tristan and Tony here with the Zero Duck 30 podcast on the 1 year anniversary of the podcast. What's going on?
Woohoo! 1 year. We did it. 1 year. And I think, what did we accomplish? How many episodes?
50. I think technically this is the 51st. So yeah, just 1 week off.
Wow. Yeah. And it's one hell of a life, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right.
It is. It's been a great ride. And I'm kind of shocked, honestly. You know, you get into this mode sometimes where it's like Groundhog Day, you know, and sometimes, and Tristan and I mean, don't lie, we do enjoy our time, you know, that we can spend together too, you know, doing the podcast as father and son. But we have had some incredible guests, you know, and so one thing we thought we'd do on our 1 year anniversary with y'all is just kind of take a flashback, jump back to when we first started, and just be real quick and highlight some of the guests and some of the great topics that we covered this year. And you know, at the end of the day, we're out to bring y'all everything we can find for information, knowledge, education, rules, regulations, ethics, you name it, you know, the whole tool set. And yeah, we just want to jump back through some of those. So if it's the first or second time you've listened to us, or maybe you've only listened to us since duck season or something like that, you might hear one that you say, man, I want to jump in and learn about that, you know, because y'all, we have had some incredible guests. Yeah,
we really have. And before we get into that, one thing I did want to mention is you'll have to wait till the end unless you guys want to cheat and fast forward to the end. But we got some big news regarding the podcast dropping at the end of this episode. We'll talk about that. But yeah, let's get back into, you know, kind of a recap starting from the beginning, you know, of what we've done and talked about on this podcast.
Yeah, it's, you know, our very first one that we started with, and I won't forget, you know, is who Zero Duck 30 is. Mm-hmm. And, you know, the 10-second commercial on that really, y'all, is we're out to bring you the reality of hunting. You know, we're trying to grow the sport. It's been dying off for years. All the baby boomers can't get out and hunt anymore. They've passed on. There's lack of leadership. And, you know, we're just out there. I'm sick of seeing people selling their stuff because they couldn't go out and shoot a limit of mallards or shoot a 12-point buck. You know, that's what TV shows y'all, you know, and those folks, congrats to them. They do a great job doing what they do, but it's not the reality for 80% of us that are public land hunters or don't have those means to do that. So that's the big thing with us. And that's really who we are at Zero Duck 30 is. Tristan, anything you want to add on that?
No, I mean, I think you hit the nail on the head. You know, boy, we got Oakley, our dog, growling in the background.
That's the reality of the podcast.
Yeah.
Oakley, quirk.
But, you know, I think you hit the nail on the head. You know, we're the type of, you know, YouTube channel and podcast that's, you know, going to talk about, you know, when we shot one duck and how much fun we had, you know, and then we'll also talk about a 4-man limit and how much fun we had and everything in between and motor problems and all that stuff. So, you know, the reality is the big thing. And, you know, I've said it before on this podcast, not everybody is lucky enough to grow up in a hunting family. And you've always been really good about getting people into the outdoors. So it's just an extension and into this podcast is, you know, any way we can bring information to help make that easier. Cause we know very well how steep the, cliff is as far as, you know, a new hunter trying to get into anything, whether it be deer hunting, duck hunting, you name it. So,
yep. And one thing I've always said is, you know, I will help anyone, but I won't call you to wake you up.
Yeah.
I'm not going to remind you, you know, if you want to grab on, come on, you know, but, I'm not going to play the game for you either, you know, so, we're so excited to do that for all y'all and save you the comment blasts from asking how to get into duck hunting online.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Don't do that.
Yep. And, you know,
come ask us, send us a message.
Yep. We did a piece on social media and the New Age Hunter. That was a real interesting piece, which kind of ties into everything we were just kind of talking about, especially with the younger community. Mm-hmm. great one to check out. We talked about duck hunting in the marsh. We had some incredible guests on, a good buddy of ours, Flock Doc out of Idaho, talked about what's like hunting up there. Gavin Powell.
Yep.
One of my favorite guests because it was an in-studio guest. He did a live performance for us. One of your great friends, and the guy just he's such a great man, and so thankful. If you guys listen to our podcast or watch our YouTube videos, Gavin does the opening song, the end, and what an incredible guy.
Yeah, he go check him out on Spotify and all that other stuff, Instagram and all that. He his song West of Houston got put on Spotify's indie playlist that's sponsored by them, and I believe it's approaching 250 downloads, which is pretty damn cool for somebody that doesn't have, any sort of
250,000.
250,000, yeah. That doesn't have any sort of record label. That's just going out there and, building it from the ground up,
Yep. One of our first partners ever, and somebody that we've been using well before this, Huntwise.
Yeah.
Huntwise, I tested everything, and I paid for the elite pros, whatever you want to talk about, all of them. And, the states that we hunt and the different species of animals we hunt, the public land that we hunt, the private land we hunt, and judged it all off of the mapping software, the reliability, the image quality, the options, all those things. And I found Huntwise to be the best. On top of that, y'all need to go back and listen to this episode if you have not, because if you guys aren't using it, it's the ultimate hunting tool set. You are doing yourself wrong. I'll go down too far a rabbit hole with it today, but it's an incredible product. It makes our life way easier as a hunter, and it's entertaining. We get discounts like you wouldn't believe off of over 100 manufacturers and retail agents, across the country. You guys got to check them out, and use the code. Use
code Duck30, and that'll give you a discount code. I think it's 20% off the Pro and Elite memberships.
Yep.
But yeah, it's not just a mapping software. It's got a lot more other tools to help you be successful outside of just the maps.
Yep. Well, and Tristan, this gets us right into, I think, because we have had him on here so many times. I think one of the things that we got to really dive into here is we show the reality of hunting public land a lot, but Cade Weatherford, Delta Thunder Outfitters, has been a big part of us showing the reality of hunting private land.
That's right.
It's been a great educational experience for us. If you watch our videos, if you listen to our podcast, you're going to learn a lot. And the reality of what that's all about. And those guys start doing a hell of a lot of work before you even think about duck hunting. Anything from, cutting brush to making blinds to spending nights without sleep, pumping fields. I mean, they do a lot of work for y'all. And definitely, Cade's books are open right now. And if you don't book soon, you're not going to get a spot, period. It's not going to happen.
Yep. Yeah, don't let hunting season roll around and then call, because it's not gonna work out.
No. But you listen to us a lot. You're gonna hear us talk with Cade quite a bit, and definitely you guys go check them out. Stevie Bearfield, she was the marketing director for Mojo at the time. Had a great podcast with her. You want to talk a little bit about that one?
Yeah, that was awesome. Being that my grandma Oma, your mom, was really a game changer in the archery community and deer hunting community. As a woman, it's always cool to hear that perspective, and we love to see women doing great things in the outdoor industry. And that's Stevie is a great role model for that, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
And it was awesome to have her on and just give her or for her to give us so much perspective on the industry from her side of things, being a social media marketing person with a huge company like Mojo. So that was really neat.
Heck yeah. Crazy Alex from Florida, and his cool quack skins.
That's right.
Y'all, I mean, big shout out there, because that's something that's not your mainline retail brand, that is such a functional piece of duck hunting down in the marshes of Florida. Whether you're turkey hunting, duck hunting, he's got you covered. I mean, you guys got to check him out. Quack Skins. .com. Alex is an incredible guy, a big conservationist, and incredible person.
Yeah, exactly. This stuff is amazing, and if you don't live in Florida, it's a great early teal season camo pattern when stuff is really green. And I know he just came out with a reverse hoodie too that will turn to like a dead shadow grass type camo. So
yep. Man, and we only got so much time. But one of my favorite guests of the year, Mr. Ramsey Russell.
That's right.
What an incredible guy. He's got such a great way of sharing the waterfowl experience with everybody that follows him. He is the owner and runs getducks.com, and basically he hunts ducks everywhere in the world. This man hunts 300 days a year, and we were lucky enough to have him on for a 2-part series. And Tristan, talk about Ramsey.
He's awesome, man. He just gives so much great insight on hunting, and is such a great ambassador of not just duck hunting, but I would say hunting in general, just because the light he paints it in. It's very similar to like a Steve Ranella type, very eloquent talking, very almost, I don't know Ramsey's background, but Steve Ranella is a writer and was a journalist and stuff, and that's how Ramsey describes these duck hunts, and you got to go on there and check out his Instagram. He's one of the best follows on Instagram in the duck hunting community, no doubt about it. He's a great guy.
Yeah, and the big thing with him is that if you want to go hunt ducks anywhere in the world, this is the guy to contact. He's not out there for the gal that's just out there to kill something. Mm-hmm. He's out there creating an experience. And one thing that he talked about was, as waterfowlers, we experience all kinds of extreme weather conditions. Stay bone dry and warm with Frog Togs hunting gear. You can check them out at frogtogs.com or at frogtogshunt on Instagram. You don't really learn the culture of where you hunt until you put your feet under a table. And so he's big about that. But the biggest takeaway I got from him, and I related it to us, what we do, the different areas that we hunt across the country. And he talked about playing the game, whether he's in Azerbaijan, whatever that country was.
Yeah.
Or whether he's in Texas or Arkansas or wherever it is, is respecting how each area plays that game. And Tristan and I have seen that come to reality for us, and it's so true.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it's exactly right. It's so different, when you hunt Florida and Arkansas and all these different places. You go from hunting a rice field to hunting a marsh with an alligator.
Yep. So definitely you guys check out Ramsey Russell. Thank you, Ramsey. Great guy. Dude, you're cool if you have some dirty duck coffee sitting on your counter during duck season. And because we've done it, kids have sitting there, people walking and go, "Whoa, what's that? Morning wood?"
Yeah.
They start laughing. Dude, we love dirty duck coffee. It's not only funny, but it tastes great.
Oh, it's phenomenal. It really is. We, been getting their coffee for a long time, and my personal favorite is probably the morning wood. Of course has a wood duck on it. But they got a lot of great flavors. I think they have 5 or 6 now.
Oh yeah. And great merchandise too. I mean, Tristan's got a hat on right now.
That's true.
Says, "I'm into duck stuff." It's awesome. So, but yeah, thanks, Dirty Duck. We appreciate all your support, and great partner of ours.
And you can use the code ZeroDuck15 for 15% off any of their stuff on their website. So go check that out.
Yep. Thank you, Tristan.
Yep.
One of the 2 biggest names in public land hunting and social media on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
You got Billy Campbell and Dr. Duck.
That's right.
I mean, we had a great podcast with Billy. One of the things I found so great is that we try to do things, like professional, and we have these outlines that we send folks because it is a nice thing to do. But I said, "All right, Billy, I'll get you an outline." And he's like, "I don't need no outline."
Yeah.
I was like, rock on. This is going to be a great podcast. And it was. Billy was nice enough. We've had a great journey with him. I met him in an alternative method. Tristan.
Yeah, actually, speaking of baseball season, I met Billy at a baseball game. He was in Georgia for some reason, and just happened to see him at Braves Stadium and stopped him and met him. And then, fast forward a year later, and he's on our podcast. It's pretty neat.
It was pretty neat. Tristan just texted me out of the blue one night. I knew he was at the game, and he's just standing there with Billy, and I was like, get out.
Yeah.
But great guy. Love what those guys do, and they not only do a great job with their videography, but they really do a great job of showing what it really is like to go out there and hunt public land, and they're damn good at it.
Yeah, and they're entertaining too, man. They're funny. Billy is funny as hell. Some of the stuff he posts, man.
Yeah, so great thing with him. Sean Weaver.
Yeah.
Man, our fellow duck nerd. All right, Sean Weaver, if you guys don't know who he is, you need to. Duck Lore, he's with Meat Eater. Tristan.
Yeah, so Duck Lore, many of y'all have probably seen their series on YouTube, but it's affiliated with Meat Eater. And Sean is just, he's a phenomenal storyteller. He's got a long background in producing outdoor content and videos and stuff. And extremely talented, and just puts that Meat Eater twist that fits so good with why they're successful on duck hunting, and just a phenomenal series to watch. I can't wait for this next season.
Yeah, and such a nice guy and gentleman. That was one of my biggest takeaways this year. Learning, as you continue to learn as an adult. I think if you ever stop learning, you've got to do a checkup from the neck up, and he taught me to be so much better about us telling the story, and really made me focus on it this year, so thank you again, Sean.
Yeah. And, one kind of plug for that podcast too. Another reason, if you guys missed it, you might want to go check it out, is we got into, he's a Dakota guy, and, we got talking on, a lot of South and North Dakota type stuff, that, maybe worth checking out if you're going to want to go hunt those areas.
Yep. No doubt about it. We got to mention Travis Thompson.
Oh, yeah.
Our buddy down in Florida. Tristan.
So Travis is a huge conservationist in the state of Florida. And I had actually found his company, allflorida.org. I knew who he was, but, hadn't reached out to him or anything. I just heard, who he was, and reached out to allflorida.org because I was interested in, talking about Florida conservation and Florida duck hunting and all that stuff. Come to find out, it's Travis's organization, and the stuff this guy does, and the stuff he posts on social media, he is such a great ambassador for the outdoors, and just really is a servant of his time. And, we're thankful that there's guys like him that will go out and, do the stuff that he does for, everybody.
It's humbling.
Yeah. Talking in front of, a full room of, decision makers in government, whatever it may be.
State officials, challenging them, and spend the time to be so factual and resourceful. And, I'll say it for you, Travis, if you're not doing something to help conservation, like boots on the ground doing something, you're missing it.
Yeah.
Because he will call people out, and thank you for doing that. Because we got to all be better at it. We just do. So look him up. Great man. He even won an award from Delta Waterfowl this year, and for what he's been doing. So, incredible podcast. Big shout out. We could not do what we do without our boy Dalton.
Yeah, that's right.
Without our boy Dalton. Dalton is such an incredible part behind the scenes of what we do here at Zero Duck 30 and showing you the reality of hunting. He has done a phenomenal job. And to do what we do together, it takes a certain synergy, I think, he met Hunter, I believe, one time down in South Georgia. They got together. He talked about wanting to get into filming outdoors, and we connected, and then the sky's been the limit since there, and he's so good at what he does. It makes me afraid that we're going to lose him someday. I didn't tell you that, Dalton. No, but seriously, he's awesome and a great friend.
Yeah, absolutely. He's a great guy, and we've been through the Florida marshes to the Georgia marshes to freaking Arkansas public timber and rice fields and
freezing cold temperatures. And
yeah, we've done a little bit of everything, and he's been huge to getting some of the or most of the content we've put out on YouTube. He's been a huge role in that. So
yeah, I mean, it's no doubt when you watch one of our videos that Dalton's been filming, it's a significant difference.
Yeah, that's right.
He's just great, and we were lucky enough to also have Michael from Naughty Pines Productions. He came in with Dalton, and we did some filming at the end of this year, which we got more stuff, y'all, coming. We got some really badass episodes coming your way that those guys were paired up and did some incredible film work at Delta Thunder Outfitters. So
yeah, I'm thinking. And, knock on wood, I'm thinking that, once we decide to start putting stuff out, hopefully we'll have it set up in a way where we can do, 2, 3, 4, 5 episodes or whatever, just like week after week after week as, duck season's rolling in to get some cool stuff out there to you guys.
Yeah, for sure. I'm going to really kind of group 3 into 1 on this one because I think that we've learned their community.
Yeah.
And that is Dr. Brad Cohen, Dr. Karen Nitschke, and
Dr. Jennifer Ballard.
Sorry about that. Little to us, we didn't know that these guys all know each other.
Yeah.
And, we've done 2 podcasts with Dr. Cohen. We've done 2 with Dr. Ballard. I know that we're going to have Kara on again. And they all went to school together. They all study in the same space. Dr. Brad Cohen does the Cohen Wildlife Lab. They do a lot of GPS tracking and following and conservation stuff and really cool audio device things and all these cool studies in the waterfowl space. Definitely got to check them out. Dr. Jen Ballard, she is the
state wildlife veterinarian
for the state of Arkansas, and we've had her on talking about the avian bird flu. Recently, the study they're doing on tracking mallards and their behaviors, how they behave with the different devices. Some of the stuff is surgical. It's really cool using cell phone towers. Got to check them out. And then Dr. Karen Nitschke, we had her on. She was a hoot to have on. She's the waterfowl program director and for waterfowl and alligators for the state of Georgia, right?
Yeah, I think she's like the coordinator or biologist for waterfowl and alligators, something like that.
Yeah, and we had a great time until we told her about how many gators we saw on this one at WMA, and she said it was good, and we said, no, it's not. No, just kidding. But y'all, that's the scientific side of what we're bringing you, and we've been so blessed to have these 3 career professionals to take the time out to come to y'all. So check those guys out. Go support the functions that they do. Go your state, at least these folks, they're out there. Tennessee, Arkansas, Georgia, they're doing something. You got people that are very passionate about what they're doing, and y'all need to show them some love and support. And almost every one of them has said, if you want to volunteer, they almost will find something for you to do. I mean, they all seemed, or point you in the right direction. Yeah. So don't think you can't make a difference. All right. So
that's right.
Yeah. We kind of wrap up all of those, and we get into, Captain Chris Williamson.
Yeah.
What's this one as far as ranking our podcast?
It's top 3, which
Woo-hoo!
Chris, if any of you guys are listening from Florida, you got to be familiar with the business that Captain Chris Williamson runs, and we've gone out there and hunted, and it's just a phenomenal operation. He's a great guy, and I think that kind of was reflected in how many people listened to that podcast. It was a pleasant surprise, but love to see it though. I mean, great guy. I think he's been running this company for 5 years, I think he said. Multi-generation Florida boy that, loves the outdoors, and it's just, he runs a great operation, and we're thankful that, he took the time to come on the podcast.
Yeah. I mean, where else in the world can you go and have the possibility of killing waterfowl and fishing? Depending on how those seasons and, they run or whatever, but just a great place, great experience, and a fun time.
Yep. That's your guy for redheads and bluebills and all that stuff and the Panhandle.
Yeah, you're gonna smoke their ass. So, this is probably the most unique podcast we had this year, and that was the innocence of us having the first time duck hunting from a woman's perspective with Katie.
Yeah.
I thought that was really interesting, and honestly, it didn't impact me as much until we really started digging into that podcast, how important it was, because it was true. I mean, it was just the truth of somebody going out and experiencing this for the first time that has never done anything like that. And she tells you guys just like it is, So do you want coffee that doesn't suck? Get the Duck. Dirty Duck coffee is made specifically for the waterfowl enthusiast. Enjoy flavors like Morning Wood, Dark Dynasty, Cinnamon Teal Snickerdoodle, and First Flight to unlock the flavor that you'll enjoy in the blind for years to come. Our friends at Dirty Duck Coffee Company are now offering all Zero Duck 30 followers a 15% discount when you use code ZeroDuck15 on your next order. Tristan, talk about your wife and that experience in that podcast.
Yeah, that was really neat. You're taking your wife duck hunting for the first time. She's, I couldn't believe that she was, going out on a limb and going to drive out there 7 hours to Arkansas and get up early and all this stuff and get her out there. And you're just hoping that, she has a good time and it clicks. And I remember that first morning, a group of spoonies came in and it must have been 10 or 12 of them or something. I think one or two dropped and we all shot. And I just could see on her face, she was lit up with excitement. And that's when I knew that she, loved this, and saw what I loved about it. And she just goes into a lot of great detail on that, what she doesn't like about it too. And, from a woman's perspective, the challenges and all kinds of stuff. So if you're interested in something like that, it's definitely one of our favorite podcasts. And yeah.
I think it's a great podcast. I don't care how long you've been married. If you're trying to get your significant other into the sport.
Yeah, it's true too.
Or it's very relatable to you just trying to get anybody into the sport. Mm-hmm. Hearing what she says, not just because she's a woman, but it really relates to anybody in so many different strong points. It's a great thing to listen to, and it might make your marriage a little bit easier. I mean, quite honestly, there's some great stuff there. And, the other thing that was really cool about having her go through that experience and be on that podcast is that we got to really hear it right after it became full circle for her. And the thing I won't forget that she said was, my best experience was the day we shot the least amount of ducks.
Yeah.
And because she said the experience, it is about the experience for every hunter. And just because you have fun hunting a certain way doesn't mean that the person you're with, they're different too, and her and Cade got to sit next to each other and cut up just like two dudes, and it cut up to the point where, Cade handed over all of his calls to Katie because she said she was going to start running the show or something. And I mean, it just had a blast. And we got some video footage from that day that'll come out, but
it was a good time. It started off with a broken down side by side, not getting out there till 7:30, but it was definitely go tune into that podcast if you haven't heard it yet.
Yeah. In closing in that, the last thing she said was, it seems like something always goes wrong.
Yeah, there's got to be one disaster a day in duck hunting. Is what she said. So I'm like, that's pretty accurate.
She definitely paid attention.
Yeah.
Brandon Thompson.
Yeah.
Dude, y'all need to check this podcast out. Hear what it's been like for a challenge for somebody trying to get into the sport, the challenges he's had, and the difference that he's made. He's now up there with 24/7 Hunt guys. Tristan?
Yeah, I mean, Brandon, what an incredible guy. As a black man in the outdoor industry, he goes into a lot of detail on, the challenges he faces, growing up and stuff. and just tells us a lot of great stories, man, and just people that have been influential in his life and just what he loves about the outdoors. And that was such a fun podcast to get to talk with him. And of course, he's, a Florida boy too, hunts kind of the same areas, within a couple hours of where we hunt, and from time to time. And it was cool getting to talk. Anytime we talk Florida waterfowl, you got to love that too. And got to even talk about some Florida deer hunting, which if any of you guys have done that, that's a pain in the ass.
Yep. And, before we get out of here, Tristan, what about our friends over at True Southern Waterfowlers?
Oh man, Alex and Jesse, we've really enjoyed being able to talk with you guys twice now on the podcast. They got a great YouTube channel, husband and wife team that, they go on the road together and film everything. And
they really show the reality. That's why we like them so much.
Yeah, they're awesome, awesome follow on social media and YouTube and stuff too.
Yeah, for sure. Anything else that stood out for you for the year, Tristan? To top it off, if y'all haven't listened to Shiloh, he's with the Crappie Master Series, Elite Series. You guys want to catch some crappie, you need to be listening to this podcast. This guy breaks it all down for you, and he's just got there catching toads. Yeah,
no, that's exactly right. If you're a duck hunter whose brain's starting to switch into turkey, I guess one other one was a young man that, I say young man only as a 26-year-old guy myself, but a guy that is really doing something for the outdoors and the youth is Jared Droz with Next Southern Generation Outdoors. And, he's got a call company, and he has got a YouTube channel and all that, but he just took a bunch of kids. He does this every year. It's the military youth hunt is what he does. And so, the youth of military families, he gets a bunch of kids together and takes them turkey hunting. And he just posted something today about the success those kids had. And just a great follow, really doing something, instead of, there's a lot of talk, of people that want to say, they're doing something, but he's someone that's actually going out there and putting boots on the ground and getting people in the outdoors. So
yeah, no doubt about it. And before we go out here, just some quick shout outs to everybody I can get with real quick. Give a shout out over to Zach with Buck Gardner Calls. If you get a chance, Loaded Timber guys, go check them out. Great people to talk to. Zane, look them up. If you want to see some people that smoke mallards, these guys, woo, baby. Bubba Bishop over there does an awesome job.
Just got his first turkey. Shout out to you, Bubba.
Yeah, what's going on, Bubba? Jared over outside the levees. What an incredible guy.
Amazing follow on YouTube. The guy, he does some cool ass stuff.
You got to check out Billy. Tristan went and hunted with him down at SoFlo, down in southern Florida. Hook and bullet sunglasses. We wear them all the time, and you guys need to check them out. You can get a discount.
Yeah, it's I believe it's code 0duck30 for 20% off. But regardless, I put it in the description of every one of these videos. And guys, these glasses, to have true glasses towards your pursuit that are designed for your pursuit, whether it's wing shooting,
fishing,
crappie fishing, offshore fishing, whatever it may be, they design this stuff for you specifically, not just some blanket, here's a blue lens for this and a green lens for that. No, this is some scientific shit. So go check out that podcast.
That's right. Yep. Big shout out to Delta Waterfowl. We had Cyrus on. Thank you so much. George Parker with Bluebird Waterfowl. You got to check out the animator if you haven't checked him. Our good buddy over at Ackley Outdoors, Jason. Thank you so much. He does all of our lanyards, totes, straps that we use. And y'all, we just help this guy out because he makes a damn good quality product. He gets to you quick and fast. He's got one of the most badass spoonbill shirts that you'll ever see. And thank you, Jason.
Yep, code 0duck30.
Yep, code 0duck30. And then really, outside of that, Tristan, I think that pretty much wraps up the guests, except our long bearded friend that makes the best sauce.
Oh, that's right.
In town, and that is Kevin Smitty Smith with Smitty's Beard Sauce. Y'all, Army veteran, incredible story of a person that is out there doing the American dream, outdoorsman. Incredible, nice guy, good buddy of ours. Hope to get out and hunt with him. But you guys got to check out Smitty's Beard Sauce. I just had some on some pork cutlets last night. Ooh, sweet and spicy, baby. It was good. You guys got to check that out. And really, that just kind of wraps it up for the year, Tristan.
That's awesome. Did we? I guess if we missed anybody, or did we?
I think I pretty much got on everybody today. If we happen to miss you, message us and we'll send you a free T-shirt.
and nothing personal if we did. We're just trying to cover 50 of them in a short podcast, and we're thankful for everybody we've had on this podcast.
Yep. So, drum roll.
Big news.
Big news. All right, guys, check it out. From this day forward, we will be known as the One Hell of a Life Outdoor Podcast. You're going to the same place. We're not making a new station name or anything like that. We're just simply changing the name from Zero Duck 30 Podcast to the One Hell of a Life Outdoor Podcast. The reason for this has been really kind of by demand and our passion to do the same thing with all the other sports and things that we're a part of and that you all are a part of. Mm-hmm. We're out there to take what we've done in the waterfowl space, continue doing that. It's not going to change at all. We're going to continue to do off-season stuff, all that. But we're going to be jumping into all kinds of hunting, all kinds of fishing, all kinds of outdoor activities and news. And we got a lot of loaded stuff coming y'all's way. We worked very hard this past year to get you guys such a great amount of guests. And we look forward to what we're going to be able to do with this as well.
That's right. And, one thing we kind of pride ourselves on is being consistent. We can say that, this is the 51st episode or 52nd episode now in 1 year. So we've literally done a podcast every single week.
Yep.
And that's always been important to us. If we've said if we were going to start this, we owe it to everybody to, treat it like something serious and, be consistent with it and try to do our best to get good guests on and, talk about good, interesting stuff. So
yeah, we will do this. We don't get paid to do this show. Mm-hmm. All right. But hopefully one day we will. But, we do this because we're going to do it right. We've all been trying to find an outdoor podcast show that is consistently putting out information, who doesn't fall off after season's over or anything like that. And by damn, that's what me and Tristan are going to do. So we're excited about what we're going to be able to bring you guys this way. We've got our eyes on some really cool stuff.
That's right. And if you guys, watch Spotify, Apple Music, however you stay in touch with us, if you could go on there and drop us a review. And
our partners at Huntwise are offering an exclusive discount for Zero Duck 30 followers. As an elite member, some of the features you'll immediately gain access to are Huntcast, Windcast, peak kill times, property lines, owner information and phone lookup, 250 map layers, unlimited offline maps, 3D maps, social media, and on top of it all, save up to 50% off some of the top hunting brands in the industry. Download and explore the #1 hunting tool set today and save 20% by using code DUCK30.
Rate us. That would be awesome. That's a great thing because then it gets, however there's, algorithms work or whatever, it pushes us out to more people that we can get connected with and, share the podcast. Or if you like an episode or whatever, send it to your buddy. We talk with a lot of different diverse, people, and, if something catches your eye and think it's cool, we'd appreciate, you sharing it.
Yeah. If you got a question about any of the podcasts, like, hey, I wish you guys would have talked more about that. Or, hey, you're like, dude, I wish they would do a podcast about this. Mm-hmm. Message us, y'all. I mean, we will do our best to respond. It's not going to fall on deaf ears. Mm-hmm. It's just not. I will tell you that I'm not the social media pro. Tristan is. So, but on Instagram right now, you can't find us until we get our account back. But you can message us at HD Duck Hunter or at Tristan, Vogel on social media. We'd be glad to review anything, or you could just actually comment on the show.
Yeah.
Right? Isn't there a new way to do that on the...
I think they're working on that. I think it's like a poll or something, like what you think of the show. So yeah, I think you may be actually be able to do that. So,
but yeah, if you got a topic you want us to cover, please message us. We'd love to talk about it.
Yep.
Tristan, thank you for putting up with me this a whole nother year.
Well, it's been a good time. We've had a lot of fun podcasts, that's for sure.
Yep.
And a lot of Busch Lattes.
Yep, that's for sure. Big shout out to Busch Light. If you ever want to sponsor this show, we can make it work, but it's going to take some free lattes to do it.
Yeah, and I mean, let's just say, you wouldn't have to be like pulling our arm or anything.
No. You would not have to twist our leg to make it happen.
Yeah.
So. All right, y'all. Thank you so much, and we look forward to bringing you the reality.
That's right. Thank you, guys.
I've been southbound, I've been hellbound, riding on the midnight train. Going too fast now, think I'll slow down, standing in the pouring rain.